Welcome to New Hampshire's Business. I'm Fred Coker. New Hampshire's been home to immigrants over the centuries when French Canadians and Irish came here to work in New Hampshire's textile mills. So how important are immigrants to New Hampshire today, especially to New Hampshire businesses, and with deportation underway in the state? And of course, illegal immigration was a major issue in the recent election. So let's take a look at New Hampshire immigration facts from recent years. International migration to New Hampshire, 2010 to 2023. Look on the right side and note the big decline in 2020 during the pandemic, the sharp increase in 2022, and the sharp decline in 2023. Now, the country of birth for foreign-born population, Canada, no surprise. Canadians have come to New Hampshire to work for many decades. In recent decades, populations from India and the Dominican Republic have increasingly settled in New Hampshire. And then the share of foreign-born workers by sector. This is business sector. A list of New Hampshire business sectors shows us where most foreign-born work, with New Hampshire's manufacturing sector a #1 employer, and in recent years, technology business have employed many foreign-born who arrived here educated. Here's a quote. If immigration is restricted or slows down for whatever reasons, either by choice or by public policies, it could have a detrimental impact on labor force growth. And that's from Brian Gottlieb, New Hampshire economist and director of the Economic and Labor Information Bureau. With me to take us through this on the immigration in New Hampshire is Ronald Abramson, a partner in the New Hampshire law firm of Shaheen and Gordon with an immigration practice, and Mark Hayward, currently reporting for New Hampshire Business Review and formerly with the union leader, who has written extensively about immigration in New Hampshire. Welcome to you both.
Thanks, Fred.
Pleasure to be
Let me ask you, 6 to 7%, I'm told, of New Hampshire's current workforce is foreign-born, documented and undocumented. With New Hampshire businesses already facing labor shortages, what's this going to mean if deportation really becomes a serious issue in New Hampshire? Mark?
I think businesses will have to do one of two things. They'll have to pay more overtime. Try to hire people that aren't there to hire, so they'll probably turn to their workers and pay them, or they'll just cut back. If you're in the hospitality business, you'll rent out fewer rooms.
Yeah, and Ron, same question.
Yeah, your initial graphic was actually very instructive because we saw the dip during the pandemic, and there may be some echoes of that in terms of the ability to provide goods and services in a timely and efficient way.
Right, right. New Hampshire economist Brian Gottlieb again says there's a growth in the number of New Hampshire workers the past 5 to 6 years working with H-2B visas who don't have special skills but are essential to sectors like construction and hospitality. The Omni Mount Washington Hotel being the largest employer in the state using H-2B visas. Ron.
We're seeing demand primarily for both ends of the skill spectrum. We have employer clients who need high-skilled workers, and we have employer clients who are desperate to fill seasonal jobs, and that's where the H-2B visas come in.
Right.
You know, we have this, we exalt capitalism in this country, yet we put artificial caps on visas when businesses simply cannot staff from the local labor pool.
Yeah.
Americans are not taking temporary jobs, but for certain folks from certain countries, Jamaica's one of the bigger ones, it's a good deal for them. They come, they work 6 months, they make money, they go home, they do it again the next year.
Yeah.
It's, businesses go to all lengths to get these guest workers. They pay about $2,400 in visa, lawyer, and transportation fees. They don't. The people don't make minimum wage. They have to make the prevailing wage was set by the government. For the hospitality industry, it's around $15 an hour, right? And the businesses, what they do. A guest worker can work here for about 3 years, but only at the same job for 6 months. So Steve Dupree up in Concord, who owns a lot of hotels, he tries to do everything he can to get them to come back. He takes them on shopping trips.
Really?
He takes them on trips to the parks and everything. They love this program, and they're desperate to keep it going.
You know, immigrants have reportedly been detained or arrested already in New Hampshire by ICE, including earlier this month in Peterborough, as reported by MUR. It's not clear if they have criminal or civil case records, or undocumented or documented, or have green cards. And the question is, something would be good to know. Ron?
Absolutely. There's a disturbing degree of opacity with everything that's going on right now. And even those of us who are engaged to try to find out information to see if we can advocate for a particular individual are having trouble getting clear, concise, accurate information.
My thanks to you, Ron. Ron Abramson with Shaheen and Gordon Law Firm, and Mark is Hayward, a reporter for New Hampshire Business Review, at least now.
Good work.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. And if you missed part of this briefing on immigration in New Hampshire, you go to WMUR.com, where it will be posted all this week.